Tasha, you gotta come up with the rap.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is your girl Tasha, known to the world as the Tasha Carpenter, but all of you call me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, it's like you are hanging with your girl. We are up here in the studio today and we have a special mystery guest. Y'all been wondering who it is, right? So tell them, who are you, lady?
Hello, everyone. I am Sherrill Carter. Isn't that so corny?
Oh Lord, we about to be really silly up in here. See, that's something. I got somebody that be silly with me, right? But Sherrill Carter, you know what we want to do is let the people know because you are like everything. You got so many hidden talents. We don't know where to go, and I think that you might want to start with just telling the people about. We'll talk about Sherrill because you're actually two people.
Yes.
She's Sherrill Carter, and she's Jasper. She has dual personalities.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so we're going to start with letting them just tell them a little bit about who Sherrill Carter is and where you started.
Sherrill Carter first started back in 19. Okay, I'm not going to go there. All right, so I am Sherrill Carter, and I am a woman who loves to be in control. I'm a mother of two and in a relationship. I love to sing. It's a part of who I am. And I've been singing for probably since I was in my mom's womb. She was jamming to me singing. She just didn't know it, right? And I also have been singing, and God gave me the name Jasper, which came out of the Bible, Revelations 21, when he rebuilt the new city, the new earth. And within the city, the first foundation that was laid was Jasper. It's made out of Jasper. It also is a city that is bright like a crystal like, and that crystal like is made out of Jasper. So he gave me that name so that I could be a great foundation for the people, his people. There are 12 tribes, okay? So out of the 12 tribes, that first foundation that was laid was for the first tribe. And so when he said that the city was like a crystal and it was made out of jasper, I interpreted to mean that it has to be transparent, so that people could see. And so what I write about are things that we relate to as people, whether it be women or men, just different issues that occur throughout life that we go through. So I like to be a spokeswoman for the issues that we go through.
Okay, so you brought up that you do writing.
Yeah.
And so is that also within poetry or are you writing books or what's going on? What type of writing do you do?
The book is in the making, not yet though. However, I do spoken word as well as for songs. So it just depends on the feel. And when I write, God may have me in the direction of a song or it may be spoken word. So, for instance, I am an advocate for women that have been going through domestic violence. And one of the songs or things that I wrote was about abuse, domestic violence, and it was something that I had gone through, and then I wrote about it so that other people could relate because I knew that I wasn't the only one. A lot of people are ashamed to talk about what they've been going through for domestic abuse, and it doesn't necessarily come physically. It is also spiritually, it's financially, it's emotional, it's different forms of abuse, including verbal. And a lot of us feel like we grew up that way, so maybe they overlook it, but no, abuse is abuse. It just doesn't have to be the physical form that a lot of people have reported themselves to be in.
So when it comes to the abuse and stuff, I mean, some of us we were conditioned as a child. We were taught about don't talk about anything outside of this house.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever was going in the house, we are not permitted to say anything. You got to be quiet or you're going to get in trouble with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when we incorporate that and not let the children, because if you're embarrassed by it or if you're ashamed of it, then maybe it really shouldn't be going on. So we shouldn't be having that. No matter if I'm gonna spank you if you say something about what's going on inside the house, because that makes the child think that this is normal,
Right.
and it's not normal. So you bringing up domestic violence. Oh wait a minute, we have Cheryl, we have Layla, we have Terrence, we have Denise. Hey family, what's up? Make sure you share and invite. Share and invite. Everybody viewing, please share and invite. So you actually, without going into deep details, you and I was having a conversation earlier that you've actually been married twice.
Yeah.
I've been married once, divorced. You've been divorced twice. And the question I asked you was, did you find that you attracted the same type of man in your second marriage? And that may be the reason why you had the second divorce. And your response to that was basically...
My response was, yes, I attracted the same type of man, even though it was years later when I got married the second time. And I thought that I had gone through healing because I stayed away from being in a relationship for at least 6 years. And when I met my second husband and we got married and all, and I started having some of the same problems, and initially I didn't look at myself. I looked at what was happening, and I did not look at the fact, I did not consider that because I felt like because I wasn't in a relationship that I was healed, but it was issues that had gone, they were not addressed. They were just swept under the rug. So because of me having low self-esteem, not believing that I was attractive, and just believing that I was getting old. My second marriage came when I was in my 30s. I felt like I was running out of time. You know, those lies that we learned back in the day when we were growing up, how when you get older, you'll be running out of time. Nobody's going to want to be bothered with old women. And, you know, back in the 30s, that's really not old, but that's what we were taught to believe coming up with our generation. So I made a
we get it old. Ooh,
I'm
we get
still
it old.
young, y'all.
I'm almost
She's
50.
speaking for herself.
I'm almost 50. I'm all right. Go ahead.
That's right. Tasha's speaking for herself, y'all.
You old too.
No,
She
I'm
dyed
still
her hair
a
too,
spring
guys.
chicken. It's not dye, y'all know. It's a hat. But I'm still a spring chicken.
So in that, sometimes, a lot of times as women, we are like, these men are just dogs. They don't treat us right and all this other kind of stuff. But we don't look within ourselves.
Right.
Because truthfully, we are like magnets.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's something inside of you because, see, I'm going to tell you, my current baby, he educates me, you know, Steve Harvey and his think like a man, act like a woman stuff don't have nothing to go on my baby, because he talks about the fact that men are hunters.
Yeah.
They are hunters, and they know that you put out a scent towards the type of men that you attract.
Yeah.
So when you think that, as you said, having low self-esteem or something, you know, you believe that you're not any deserving of anything better. Right. You settle for the first thing that comes to you, and that's something as women that we have really got to start looking within ourselves.
That's true. And the other thing is knowing what you want. So a lot of us don't really know what we want because we don't look past who we are. And if you don't have a high enough esteem about yourself, you will settle. You will settle for like, as Latasha said, anything. And they switching so fast, I'm trying to remember, trying to keep up.
Girl, don't worry about them cameras, just talk.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, all that to say, if you have not renewed your mind and you don't start believing in who you are, and you don't even accept yourself, men can sniff that out. That's what they do. They can sniff it out. They can sense it, in other words. And if you're considered as a weak woman to them, and they're the type that will take advantage of that, you get what you put out in the atmosphere.
So now I don't want to get that caught up with. Sometimes there are some ladies, I have some girlfriends that are like, they're just non-negotiables. You can't be non-negotiable either. You know, you do have to have a standard. It kind of works both hand in hand, because there's no perfect man out there.
No.
There's no perfect woman out there.
No.
And it's about give and take and all this other kind of stuff. So, don't be putting your foot down too hard. Sometimes you'll just be lonely,
Definitely.
But you don't have to have a man either. There's a lot of women out there that are single that have no issues with being single. So domestic violence is one of your passions, and I think that you just have a passion for helping people anyway.
Yeah.
And one of those things come from you look at yourself as a holistic healer.
Holistic healer.
So can you share with everybody, because I think that when people hear the word holistic, they're only thinking about it as far as like health or herbs and stuff, but there's a broader definition of what is meant by holistic healing.
So my definition of holistic healing is the mind, the spirit, and the body, which incorporates the whole being. And if you have any type of imbalance, and most of us do, then we have to work on whatever the weaknesses are. Now, that's a negative word, but I couldn't come up with the other word for it. However, you have to learn how to balance every aspect of you out, so that in essence the spirit is being fed. If you don't feed it, it starves. It's like the body. If we don't feed our bodies, it starves. If we don't feed our minds, they starve. So the goal is to become whole, holistically, through renewing of the mind, the foods that we eat, and just choosing to make better decisions.
All right. That's awesome. Now, the way I advertised you on my page, I said, what do you see? And the reason why I said, what do you see, is because you are a certified health coach.
Yep.
And I had the pleasure when you did a workshop at a fit event that I hosted last month. And you kind of told people about how you were sick. But if people look at you, there's a lot of people that you're walking around, a person who's fluffy like me, you'll be like, she's so healthy. Look at that petite thing and all this other kind of stuff. And sometimes, well, I don't know. I don't get jealous about other people. I got to keep it real. I'm happy with myself. But there's some people that are envious when they see a person of your beauty, because you are a beautiful sister.
Thank you.
Walking down
Likewise.
the street. Thank you. And they see all the fitness and stuff, because you got the six-pack and all that other stuff going on.
I wish. It's just one pack right now, y'all. We're working on that 6.
I know, right? But people just always thought that you were the healthiest thing around. So share with them how you got into you pride yourself on restored health.
Yeah.
What was going on inside of you that everyone else didn't realize was going on inside of you?
This was back in 2009, going into 2010. I would eat any and everything. I didn't really gain a lot of weight because I was still active, and I would...
we don't like those kind of people that just can eat what they want to eat. I'm sorry. Oh, I digress. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go back.
Right. However, and people would come up to me and say, I wish I was your size. And they might have been larger, but they have curves. Tasha got some curves, and we all know she got some curves, right?
I got them from my mama.
Yes. And she's shaking what her mama gave her, right? And I didn't really have that much to shake, but, people envied the fact that I was small. And I was like, I wish I had curves, But anyway, I was eating any and everything that I wanted. And although I didn't gain weight, I gained sickness. And it did not dawned on me that I was sick, I couldn't feel any type of pain. I wasn't weak or anything until after I got an iridology test done. And the doctor was asking me these different questions. If I felt pain in my back, if I felt pain in my knees. The iridology actually can catch the sickness before it actually occurs if you do as you're told. And so he told me to take different types of vitamins and supplements, and I was like, I don't feel sick, so I just ignored him until a few months later. That's when it just hit me, because I never changed my diet, and because I was always eating a lot of sweets. And at Verizon, I don't know if I should have said that name. However,
The local community communications company.
yes, ring. Can you hear me now? They used to have like these home potatoes that they made, and I used to get the bacon in it, the cheddar cheese in it, mix it with a whole bunch of like bay salt and whatever else I put in it. I made it up. Onions, the fried onions, put all of that. That would be my breakfast, and then I would have my snack, which is probably like a Snickers. Yes, breakfast time, okay. And I'm, known as the Cookie Monster too. So I love my cookies. Maybe after lunch or something like that. Nevertheless, I would eat sweets every day, and it eventually caught up with me. I got sick, and the pain was excruciating enough, and I thought that I could actually exercise it out. So I ran around the track. I did my full body workouts or whatever I did at the time, but the pain was exceptionally great. I just was able to fight through the pain and still exercise regardless, but I still wasn't sick free. I was still sick, and I couldn't understand. And God had to explain to me that I needed to detox, and that's the path that I began to take: detox, and I filled my body with a lot of nutrition. So it took the sickness to get me to change my diet.
Okay, all right. And as a health coach, you deal with a lot of natural plant based type products and things of that nature. And just to go a little bit more into the detox and stuff, I mean, what are some signs that you're, besides like you were having excruciating pain, but what are some signs that a person needs a detox? And a lot of times people have questions, and we had another question before we moved to the detox. Let me go back. We got a question from Rhode Island.
Hi,
We're gonna
Rowana.
flip back. We're gonna flip back. She wants to know, if a woman has low self-esteem, do you recommend that they seek therapy?
Why not? Why not? Because some people are able to do it on their own, but then there are others that just don't know how. So a person with that type of expertise can always direct you in ways that you weren't able to think about.
But there's some people out there that's like, I could just pray it away.
It works for some, but some others it doesn't. It depends on your faith level, and it depends on how much you hear from God, because He is our counselor. So He knows what teachings we need, what wisdom words we need, but how much are you listening? So faith does work for some, but not for all, if they're not on that same faith walk.
And sometimes there's a reason why God made certain people therapists and things of that nature too. So you got to utilize what He puts here, because I mean it's part of that works thing. You got to use what He has given to you. There's a reason why we have to do that.
The resources.
I mean, I think that we need food to stay alive. But if we just pray, God nurture me and put all the nutrition in me so I don't have to eat, it's not going to work. You got to utilize what He's given you. So we're going back to the detox and signs of that you need to detox, and how often you should detox is a question that often arises from people.
How often? Let me answer the signs first, and then I'll answer the how often. Your skin could be an issue. If you see people with acne, that's a sign that you need to detox. Your eyes is another your eyes are another indication that you need to detox. If there's discoloration within them, including people's lips, it could be the weight. If you're finding it hard to lose weight, that is an indication that you need to detox. Sickness and disease, that's obvious that you need to detox. Depression is another way of letting you know that you need to detox, including moodiness. So if your kidneys or your livers are affected, the body responds in a different way. So the moodiness can come from the kidneys not being flushed out. And yes.
So you saying that sometimes when I can flip the script and I can be off the chain, it's just something going on with my kidneys?
It could possibly
No,
be.
it's the other person. Go ahead.
Yes, definitely. And so what I'm saying to you is we have to learn to listen to our bodies. Pain is another indication. There are so many indications, but we're not taught that our bodies communicate with us. We ignore our bodies talking to us on a regular basis. And what we have to learn to do is to listen. What is that pain really saying to you? What is the stomach ache saying? You know what that's saying. You shouldn't have eaten it. It's bad. Or it's just you've eaten too much of it, and your body is overly consumed. So there are so many different signs. It's just a matter
Your
of
skin.
Yes.
What your skin is doing, if it's breaking out, if it's
Breaking
dark,
out.
if it's gray.
or that yellowish tone. So it's so many different signs. So yes, you're on point with that. Definitely the skin. So it's so many factors, including the hair. Some hair loss is because of the body needing to be detoxed. And the interesting thing about it is when the body is so consumed with toxins, it stops the body from being able to absorb the good foods that you do eat.
Okay.
So you know how I wish I could think of the Bible where it talks about you have to just about fasting. When you fast, it's a matter of making room so that your body can rest from digesting, so that it can eliminate those bad things out of the system. Same thing as the spirit that comes into effect too, because it now clears the mindset so that it will be wanting to be in a closer relationship with the spirit. The person can be separated from your own self, the soul from the spirit, and they're all together, but you're not listening. So you're actually separated. It's like your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. Even though it's talking about another person, you can do that with your own self.
It's like a triangle. If you don't have one leg, one line, it's not a triangle. They all work together and they support each other. And you got to have that foundation.
You got to have it.
So when it comes to detoxing, how often should a person really do that?
How often do you eat bad? Now, the question is, if you're eating consistently on, you're eating foods that are not good for you, or if you're eating foods that have pesticides, hormones, steroids, antibiotics. Why am I forgetting the other P? Pesticides.
Poison.
That's all of the above, which was just named.
Poison.
Preservatives.
Okay.
All of that is poison. It just on a lower level, so your body can handle it. But over a period of time, your body begins to break down from intaking all of these foods, attributes that or things that go into the food, the chemicals that go into the food, and it begins to break the body down. So how often you're eating these types of foods that are affected by the preservatives, the pesticides, the steroids, the antibiotics, the hormones, you need to detox
on a daily basis. So what do you do?
Depending on the strength of the detox. So what we have
A gentle detox,
A
right?
gentle detox.
Because, wait a minute, we got to remind them, too. Some people think it's only about food, because you'll have somebody like, oh, I eat healthy. I eat all organic. I go to Harris Tweeter, and I go to Harris Teeter, and what's the other one? Mom's Organic, and Whole Foods, and I get my food, and it's all this stuff. But they forget that they're taking showers.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
The water that's coming from the shower, you know what's going on with the lead and stuff in the water and the chemicals. They're cleaning their house.
Yes.
We always talk about, those aren't roses in that can. Brushing your teeth, the makeup, the oils, the perfumes that we wear are all toxins. So
the shampoos.
So when you talk about a gentle detox, because I believe I read that the recommendation for you to do a full-blown detox is no often than 3 to 4 times a year.
No more than 3 to 4 times a year.
But a gentle detox, like one of the products that you sponsor.
Yes, Vita Divina, and the tea is Te Divina. I said that right.
You said it right, Te Divina.
Yes, Te Divina. I wish I had some with me. You can take that on a regular basis. The key is when you're detoxing, you definitely want to put the nourishments back into your system. Okay, so
because you can take out the good stuff and you can take out the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to know a little bit more about Te Divina, how can they reach you for that?
All right. My number 240-389-0020. And I'm known as Restored Health when it comes to being a certified health coach. And they can also, the website is restoredhealth.us, US. And
they can follow you on Facebook.
Follow me on Facebook. I actually have a profile, Sherrill Carter Kavanaugh, but I also have a page, Your Personal Weight Loss Coach or Trainer. Your Personal Weight Loss Trainer.
She don't even know what her page is.
Yeah, I just go on so often, but that's a shame. But Your Personal Weight Loss Trainer, and I give a lot of great tips. I have videos. Sometimes I did a challenge last year. I have to do another one this year. It's a full body challenge, only 4 minutes, but you talking about in 1 week you get your body in shape. If you can do it, you're going to get your body in shape in 1 week. And of course, lose the weight, tone, and everything else. So I will start another challenge up as far as that's concerned.
So we've learned that you are a domestic violence advocate. Mm-hmm. We've learned that you are a certified health coach.
Yes, ma'am.
You just threw out there that you're a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, we just go all over the place there. Also, when it comes to being Jasper, you're actually a songwriter.
Yep.
An actress.
Yep.
A poet.
Yes, ma'am.
The President of the United States.
First black woman.
So, but what I want to do at this time, because so they can see your talents, you recently released a video.
Yeah.
And the name of the video is Safe Harbor.
Safe Haven.
Safe Haven. I'm sorry. Safe Haven. Get it right.
Steve Harvey, right?
Oh, Lord. That's okay. Hey. Y'all go ahead and go on my Instagram page and say she done said the wrong name. I don't even care. It's all right. I'm not worried about any type of mistakes or anything, right? So, Safe Haven.
Yes,
okay. So, tell the premises of that, because I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to experience the video, because I came to your viewing debut of it, and it was an awesome experience. I think we owe it to our audience in order to share it. Hey Gigi, hey Bill, how y'all doing? I see you all out there. Love you guys. Remember, you can call in after the video, 301-429-9247 if you like to call in and ask Jasper questions. She would love for you to call in. So tell them a little bit about how that all came about, that project.
That project is quite interesting. It really was Sandy hurricane that occurred back in 2012. And there were many stories that were being written about the many people that were affected by the hurricane. And this specific story came out of New York, where a young mom lost her, well, parents rather, she was married. They lost their two sons in the flood, and she was trying to get to her mother-in-law's, and she drove off of the road. The waters were too great, and she tried to run to a neighbor's house, and they wouldn't let her in, and the water swept the two young boys away, 2 and 4 years old. And that story touched me so heavily that I had to write about it. People needed to know her story. And from that, I derived the video, Safe Haven, so that people could know it. But then a week later, Sandy Hook occurred, where the 6-year-olds were...
The 6-year-olds.
Okay, the 6-year-olds. I'm not good. Yeah, I need my glasses. she got hers. The 6-year-olds were all gunned down, and that took me to a state of depression, because I could not imagine what it would be like if that were to happen to mine. I know I wouldn't. I don't know if I would be able to handle it. So I wrote about their story as well. So it's really 2 stories in one. But the video, I just captured the one which was the mom's story about her 2 sons being taken away in the flood.
Okay, so you that's again about you always trying to empathize with people, and you putting yourself into their shoes and feeling their pain and wanting them to heal. So this was a tribute to those victims and other people that need what actually is meant by a safe haven.
Safe haven for me is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So it's so many things that are happening. If I did not have him in my life, I would either be cuckoo or I would probably be gone, because I would not be able to handle the many challenges that have come my way. The domestic violence, even things that happened in childhood, different things that occurred, the challenges that occurred, I would not have been able to face alone. So my safe haven, I encourage many to accept Jesus, as your safe haven.
All right, guys, so we are going to cut to the video. And those of you, as you're watching it on Facebook Live, please share in the comments what you feel when you see the video. Share in the comments what for you is your safe haven. Jasper, Sherrill has just shared what her safe haven is. Share that in the comments, and when we come back from the video, we'll recognize you guys. Thank you. So we're going to go over to Jasper's safe haven.
Why not travel in style with the premier luxury transportation experience, Luxury Rides International? Whether it's corporate travel, weddings, or a night on the town, Luxury Rides International draws from their more than 20 years of experience to provide upscale service to each of their clients. Currently, they're featuring the stylish Mercedes Sprinter limousine with extra-large full-length double-style seating with state-of-the-art audio and video technology, surround sound, Wi-Fi and smart TVs in the front and rear, powerful subwoofers, Also featuring ECB touchpad controls with Maybach-style indirect lighting with a refreshment bar, custom privacy blinds with a rear partition wall for privacy. For your next group outing, call Luxury Rides International at 1-844-207-7746. That's 1-844-207-7746. Or email luxuryridesinternational@gmail.com.
Okay, guys, so we have a little bit of delay on Safe Haven uploading right now to the system. So we're just going to move on and we're going to break and we're going to come back to Safe Haven. That's what happens when you're live, right? With Your Girl Tasha. It's okay. Sherrill, you know, we kind of touched base on you have always had a entrepreneur type of spirit. And it dates back as far as you were a child. And I hear a little story that you were like a candy hustler at a young age.
Yes, ma'am.
So what made you decide that you had to start hustling candy? At what age were you when this happened?
Let's just say I was in high school, and my oldest sister was in college, and my parents were struggling to put her through college. So for me, I didn't like that, and so especially my senior year, we would sell candy anyway because it was the track team's way of getting money to buy our shoes. So I took the money. No, I didn't steal it, y'all. But what I did was, before I turned it in, I bought candy for me, made the money back, gave them their money, and then the extra money, I was able to keep for myself. In that way, I didn't have to ask my parents for money.
So when you were selling candy for the track team, it's like when some people say you working for the man.
Wow.
You know, you out here working for the band, but you have to figure out, even though some people are doing 9-to-5s, really you should consider being your own entrepreneur and starting your own small business.
That's right.
And that's what you have done, because you talked about being at your 9-to-5 and how your stress levels.
Oof.
And what it was doing to you. Sometimes those 9-to-5s is what's making us sick.
That's right. The stress levels, and that takes. I've seen at the company, the local telephone company, where people have died. Some have died on the job. Some have died because of the job. Some have just gotten sick. And the stress levels can take you out. But they can, even if you can handle it, it's almost as though you've forgotten what you used to dream about because you're too busy working for someone else, and you've forgotten that you used to want to be a doctor. You used to want to be the president of the United States. You used to want to be a lawyer. You're right now just focusing on, I got to pay my bills. I just got to, make sure I can get from 2 weeks pay to the next 2 weeks that I get paid, just so I can survive, so I can keep gas in my vehicle or whatever. And if you don't have any other income, you stay in that cycle until you quit or retire or get sick or
and
die.
Going to that 9-to-5 and not having any time freedom and stuff is the reason why a lot of people do not pursue their dreams. It's the reason why we've been conditioned maybe by our family members to say what's acceptable to do. People think that being their own boss is just crazy, but guys, it's not crazy. And everybody needs to have a 9-to-5 exit plan. That right. 40 plan does not work. It does not make you happy. So, the fact that you started out the way, there's a lot of people that are struggling with the idea. They know that they want something better. They know that if I could just get an extra $500 a month or something, that it would change their life, and it's because they're scared. Now, we're going to say some things, but if there's anyone out there who's looking for information about coaching, about being an entrepreneur, you'll think about your own business, or you want to ask some professional entrepreneurs, I work that 9-to-5, but I got that side business too. That's right. Very profitable. You can always reach out to Sherrill or I. You know how to follow me, LaTasha Carpenter, on Facebook. Or you can call me too, 240-545-5695. I hear that we have Safe Harbor.
Haven.
Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. Safe haven, guys. And the overwhelming votes on Facebook, everybody's saying that their safe haven is Jesus Christ. So it looks like they're unanimous with that. No one has said their safe haven is the Benjamin. So that's a good thing. So now, guys, with no further ado, we're breaking to Jasper's safe haven.
Why not travel in style with the premier luxury transportation experience, Luxury Rides International?
There's devastation in the air, so many places in despair. This pain and sorrow seems so hard to bear. A baby swept away from his mother's arms, never to be seen again, but embalmed, just turns, prepare for a moment forever prolonged. Yes, I wanna run so far away. I'll run from all this pain. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run so far away. I'll run from all this pain. I'll run to my safe haven. Just yesterday, everything seemed nice, so fair now. Breakouts of trouble, no longer rare. People are dying from things unaware. But hold to the promises seeming distant. Hold to the hope that seems gone missing. Jesus is the lamp that keeps on glistening. Yes, I wanna run from all this pain. I'll run so far away. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run so far away. I'll run from all this pain. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run from all this pain. I'll run so far away. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run from all this pain. I'll run so far away. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run so far away. I'll run from all this pain. I'll run to my safe haven. Yes, I wanna run from all this pain. I'll run so far away. I'll run to my safe haven. Jesus is the lamb that keeps on glistening. He's my safe haven.
Awesome, lady. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We got some comments. People saying that Sherrill, you go. The video is so beautiful. They said the video is hot and all this stuff. So just share a little bit more with them. What you want when somebody receives this? What are you looking for them to receive from this?
I'm looking for people's broken hearts to be healed. Many people go around thinking they're isolated because of the many tribulations that they go through and that nobody hears them. And I just want you to know that God hears you, He sees you, and if you're willing, He'll heal your broken heart. So, and just know that even if that, like that lady in New York has no idea that I made a tribute to her and her husband as well as her two sons about the loss of her two sons. So, but you still have people that will be there helping you, praying for you, so that you can get through your trials and your tribulations. Now, the interesting thing about this video, the young lady that played as the mother, when I originally asked her to play the role of the mother who lost her two sons, I did not realize that she had lost her 3-year-old daughter until the day that we shot the video. We were actually putting on her makeup when she was talking about it.
Give her a shout out. Say her name. I don't think she'll mind.
She won't mind. Naja Jackson. As a matter of fact, she has a production coming out. When she lost her daughter, of course she went through just the trials that she had to go through of being depressed, and just you can never cope with losing a child. It's hard to deal with. But what she did to come out of that was she started an organization, a nonprofit organization where she can work with different children, and she has a production. I put my son in it, y'all. And this production is Ashira's Ark is the name of the organization, and the production is this weekend, where they're going to be dancing, they're going to be acting, they're going to be singing. It is phenomenal. And I don't know how she got my son to dance, because he does not like to be seen. He likes to sit in the back and let people leave him alone.
So where is the production going to be at? And what time?
It's at 7. It's at Friendly High School, 7 p.m. this 17th, this Saturday. And the tickets are $20 before you get there and $25 at the door. It is a phenomenal production, and I'm usually like, oh man, I don't feel like going to another production, but it is phenomenal. She puts her all into it. Her kids are in it, and the kids that are a part of it, they do a fantastic job. So Naja Jackson is a phenomenal young lady that I enjoyed working with. Very humble young lady, but also phenomenal at the same time.
All right, Naja, she gave you that love at the debut too, and girl, you was like, oh no, if she recognized me, yes, she recognized you again, because that's what we do. We have to recognize each other. It's not about pulling each other down. It's about pushing each other up. When it comes to people that I associate with in my circle, we about pushing each other up.
Yeah.
So now, I guess we need to move into, so y'all know she's a singer. Now, so many roles. I mean, really, where did she get all this talent from? I just don't understand this. So when it comes to singing, what type of music do you have a particular? Is it only gospel music that you sing, or what type of music do you sing? What type of music do you listen to? When did you know that was part of your passion?
Well, I sing gospel, but I still sing gospel, but mine is more contemporary, because I don't want it to only be in the four walls of the church, because there are many people that may not know that they want God. So if I only talk to people that go to church their way in their language, then I can't reach other people. So I do sing gospel, but I make it contemporary. So the spoken word can touch people's hearts as minds, as well as their hearts, and I can relate to people outside of the four walls of the church. But I have one song that I haven't even gotten copywritten or anything like that, so I can't really sing it like I would like to, but it does reference young girls and women that want to, or believe that they have to use their body to get men.
Oh Lord.
Well,
Can't be using your body to get a man.
Well,
You fool around and be divorced. Talk from two people with experience.
What?
No, not experience in using our body to get a man, but being divorced.
Wow.
Look, hold on then. Okay. All right.
Don't be twisting that. Girl Tasha, you got to get that straight.
You know, right? Okay, so is that the type of music that you also grew up on? Or what type of music did you grow
all
on?
kinds of music. So,
Who's your favorite artist?
oh my goodness. You don't know Rochelle Farrell, my girl. Rochelle Farrell is a phenomenal singer. She has this range that she can go lower than some guys, and she can go high as Mariah Carey.
Wow.
She is phenomenal.
Okay, well, you know what? I think that you got Layla saying awesome. You got Bill Massey saying nice out there. So I think it's only fair that they heard the video, right? And y'all know how they could fix and tweak the sound and everything. I want them to know that you actually can sing. And she's not doing like any Milli Vanilli or getting the voice change and stuff. So she hates this because I put her on the spot all the time. So just give us a song. What you gonna sing for us?
How can I get out of this?
How can you get out of? Is that the name of the song? Is that the name of the song?
No.
Oh, I was about to say. Well, you can't get out of this. You gonna sing, girl? Go on and sing, because they don't want to hear me sing. Because I'll holler in a minute.
Holler.
You don't want to hear Your Girl Tasha singing. That is something that I was not gifted with. All right, lady, let's give them something.
Since we've been talking about devastations and things of that nature, I wanted to, y'all know His Eyes on the Sparrow. That's like one of my favorite songs. It's like when I can't think of anything else, I love to sing it. But it is also a song of encouragement. So.
And don't give us no snippet. We want the full song.
Come on, Tasha.
The full song.
Can y'all go to a commercial real quick so I can do something?
No.
Okay. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. You know I sing because I'm happy. You know I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. Wow.
All right, now, y'all. I don't know about this. We got some okay, yep, singing, Sherrill, whatever. I got a little bit of tears coming up in my eyes here. Y'all don't know. Y'all not in the studio. Y'all don't know. Girl, you better stop. You better stop and go ahead and sing. I told you that I was going to flip something on you, right?
Yeah, but you about to flip on me, Tasha.
I'm about to flip on you the word frenemy.
Wow.
Frenemy. That's about 2 years ago.
I forgot all about
See,
that.
I was tuning into your YouTube channel, and I was scrolling through to see what kind of stuff I don't know about you. So from looking at that video, it appears that you were going through a bad spell, and you had a breakthrough on a day when you talked about frenemy. So I just want you to share with the audience what that word meant to you, and how it held you in bondage.
That's a powerful word, frenemy, and many people have them. I don't even remember. I remember being in McDonald's when I wrote that song. When I wrote that, it's a spoken word, and I don't have it down in my heart to remember it. But you have to be careful of your inner circle. We all know this, but a lot of the times we don't pay attention to the signs that somebody can portray to be your friend when they're not really your friend. And sometimes when you're in a state of what do they call it when the alcoholic is not really saying that denial, state of denial. You can see the signs, but you allow them to go over your head a lot of the times, and also when you see the truth about that person, you don't necessarily accept the truth for what they're really showing. And because you don't accept the truth for what they're showing you, who they really are, you can be in what you're considering a friendship, but they're not. And what they're seeing is the weaknesses within you that they can get over on you because of the fact that they know you may be naive in that particular area, that your eyes are being veiled by your naivety. So,
In the frenemy, it's like you're giving people the permission to define who you are. So, in the poem, when you talked about it, it wasn't necessary at this point. It had gone beyond the people that you were in your circle, is what my interpretation of it.
okay.
Your frenemies became, you spoke to being married and taking vows to discouragement, to self-doubt, and to pity. You began to nurture those relationships, and eventually you had that because you were failing over and over. You had a laughter about you and things like this, but then you talked about being comfortable in your mess.
Oh Lord, yes. Yeah, you can be comfortable in your mess because you've gotten so used to. I had at that time. It's different levels of death. Physical is the last stage of it, but there are emotional deaths. There are what you cannot have emotion. There are spiritual deaths, like Adam and Eve, where they separated from God. There are psychological deaths, even to the point that you can still be alive and existing, but you're not living. And that's the point where I was, and I was not. I had not yet been awakened, and so in essence, you can actually become your own enemy because of the thoughts that you allow to invoke some of your decisions, how you think about yourself, how you allow others to think about you. So again, it goes back to that low self-esteem, and that in essence can become your comfort zone that you live in, the death stage before death. And it became mine, so I didn't know that I was actually keeping myself from living because I allowed all the trials, all the tribulations, all of the things that people had said that weren't positive about me. I allowed all of that to define who I was.
Even though you talked about how you were having accomplishments, you were having success, but you felt even though you were having these accomplishments and these success, that you wasn't worthy of any of it.
Yeah. So because I stopped believing in me, and I really didn't trust God to see me through. I wasn't at the stage where I allowed Him to heal the inner me, And because I so much listened to the negative thoughts that were they overshadowed everything else, including God's word, even though I was reading it. So,
How did you have your breakthrough from that moment?
you, I got tired of being dead, and I got tired of not realizing the accomplishments that I did have. I got tired of allowing myself to be defined. I was suffering from the spirit of rejection. So once I realized that,
The spirit of rejection.
once I realized that what the source was, and that everybody's not going to accept you, but to me, I wanted everybody to accept me, and because it wasn't happening that way, it just made me go into a deeper state of bondage. Bondage is death in its own way. So the breakthrough came when I got tired of being in bondage. And the biggest thing for me was realizing that I had to change my mindset. Renewing of the mind, and that's what God tells us to do.
All right, now that's deep, and part of that too comes with examining yourself.
Daily.
Yeah, is daily examining yourself and really seeing where you are.
Yeah.
We talk about it. The only way, some of you guys, just to give you a pointer, the only way that you can move towards your healing is you have to first identify where you truly are. Where did this pain begin? Mm-hmm. Go back and revisit that place, no matter how painful it is, in order for you to get onto the road of recovery.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not paying attention to God is telling us, but we're ignoring it. We trying to package stuff the way we want to package. We want to get this gift wrap paper over here, and he got it wrapped a whole nother way. And because it's wrapped that way, we decide to ignore it.
Yeah.
So that is just crazy. We have some. Hey Sherrill, Deatrice Harrison says, "Hey Sherrill, so proud of you and keep speaking truth.
You,
and
Deatrice.
Everyone has a testimony and a story to tell." Thank you, Cree Dooms, for that. So
Thank you.
this has just like been
I gotta say this.
okay.
Challenges. What I've been learning about challenges, we all have them, but we don't think of them in the way that we should. Challenges are actually a different ways of showing us who we are if we allow them to, because if we allow them to, it'll take us to a deeper level of who we are, and it might even be a discovery. So if we allow those challenges, instead of them overcoming our mental capacity to dig deeper, to go deeper, and yes, some of it has to come from God, but the other things He'll say, no, I'm leaving that up to you. I've already placed it within you. What are you going to do with what I've given you, with this challenge that wants to take you to a deeper level to know who you really are?
All right, now there you guys, you have heard it. Sherrill, Miss Jasper, Miss Everything. I'm so excited you came onto the show. It seems like we're running out of time. We got so much more to still talk about. I hope that you will come back later on. I know you have your project working on a book, and I hope that you and the ladies who's doing the compilation, that you guys will come back on. And guys, we just want to say, make sure you tune in next week when we have the teenagers, okay? We'll have my mini-me, Trinity, and her friends, and we'll be talking about what they want to do after college, because they're all seniors. And also, for those of you that don't know, this is Teen Dating and Violence Month, and we'll also be engaging them in a conversation with Queen Afi, who's a advocate also for domestic violence and things of that nature. So tune in next Monday, hanging with your girl Tasha.
Thank you.
5:30 p.m. Thank you, girl. Love you, love you, love you. Oh my goodness. All right, guys.